Okay, we're about to leave. It's 6:07. Reset the trip meter, Disney 2020. Let's go. We are going to Disney. We're leaving from the Toronto area. We left probably about 28 minutes ago after stopping for breakfast at Tim Hortons and stuff like that. We're doing this in 2 days. So I have to tell you, we're doing it in 2 days. The first half, we're going to go from here to probably about the southern area of West Virginia, the North Carolina border. And then from there, we're going from there all the way to Florida in the second day. So today's the first day. We're going to do 4 stops. Our first stop's going to be in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is about 2 hours and 48 minutes away. And we'll track our efficiency and see how efficient this car is. It's all loaded up, 4 people in the car. Trunk is full as you saw, and here we go. So we stopped for a quick bio break, 5 minutes, so 5 minutes off. Guys, look at the car. And now we're back on the road. Sun's now starting to come up and starting to get a little bit brighter now. We're officially past the border and into New York State, like what that sign says. And
3, 2,
now we have
1,
another
and now we're in America.
yeah, 11 hours left on the I-90. Okay, so now that we're in the US, we should see it. It's already saying miles on the speed limit, but we're in kilometers. So we should switch over to display distance in miles. Now we're in miles.
Now turn left onto Louisiana Street.
Okay, we just had the first navigate on autopilot fail. It told me at the very, very last minute to get off at Highway 7, or exit 7, and I missed it. And it came out of navigate on autopilot. It just went into autopilot by itself, and it didn't get off for me. So, making a little detour. That's okay. So as we're going, we're now we're going, well, I guess along Lake Erie on the southern end of Lake Erie, and it's getting colder and colder. It's now minus 12 Celsius, so it's doing a number on our range. So we're supposed to get there with like 10 or 15%. Now we're getting there with 5%. So we just have to dial it back in terms of speed. But you know, look, it's a pretty drive. You can say that. It's a nice drive. Okay, we're in Erie, Pennsylvania. We came here with 7%, and now we're charging up at the supercharger. So we got already 1%. We were supposed to be here for 25 minutes. A better route planner didn't really work out because they didn't count all the stops, and then the temperature, I didn't put the right temperature in, I think. It was colder than I thought it was going to be. So we're ramping up. We're at 130 now. Anything over 11%, it should go a little bit higher. Let's see how these chargers are. And we're doing pretty good. We're at a balmy -8, so it's actually warmed up since I last spoke. And well, yeah, like I said, we should be here for about 25 minutes. Probably about 70%. I'll try to go to 70% just as a buffer in case it stays this cold on our way down south to the next stop, which is, I think we're going to stop for lunch. We're already at 10%. Let's see what happens at 11% if it does that big spiky ramp like I think it should. Actually, it may not, because it's already 137. I can't see it's going to get any better than that. So it's at 11% now. No, I guess it's, yeah, 138 now. That'll do. So if we continue our trip, our next stop's going to be, it says Franklin, but actually we're not going to go to Franklin. We're going to go to another one. Our next stop is going to be in Cranberry, at the Cranberry Supercharger. It's saying Franklin Park, but I'm going to have to change that. It's not going to be this one. It's going to be the Cranberry one, which is going to be right there. We're going to stop there. So it's going to be a little bit sooner. Let's add that in there now. And now let's see how long it says we need to charge for. 20 minutes. Okay, walking back from the hotel there. I did some calculations while I'm waiting here at Erie, and I figure we're gonna have to charge up a little bit more than 70%, probably 80 or 85%, just because, you know what, it's extra cold and I didn't expect the extra cold, and also it's windy. I don't know if the camera's picking up the wind, but it is really windy. Somebody's car is making a lot of noise over there. That doesn't sound good. There's the superchargers. I apologize for the wind, but he was just looking under his car there, the white Model 3, and then he just went to move and it's making a lot of noise. I don't know what that is. Anyways, I'm gonna charge up to 85%, and oh my god, that's really loud. I don't know if you can hear it on camera. And then we'll get on the road. But this is a nice supercharger here. It's nice and fast. Like I said, you saw it. We're getting 138, and Quinton's getting back in on the way, and we're gonna charge up to about because I don't want to have any more range anxiety on the trip here. Okay, we're at 71%. It says we'll get there to Cranberry with where is it? 26%. So I'm gonna trust the Tesla.
Sorry, I'm just feeding kids, man.
Okay, we got 71%. I think that's enough. We're gonna head out now. It says Tesla says we're gonna get there with 26%. So I trust it over a better route planner, and we're gonna give it a try. Wish us luck. This guy's still struggling with his car. Poor guy. I don't know what's wrong. So now that it's bright out and we're 4 hours into our drive, I figured I'd turn the camera around and show everyone the setup we have. Kids are in the back. I don't know how long that's gonna last. Julie's here. Julie may have to go in the back, and Abby may have to come up here just to separate them after a while. But what I wanted to mention is it may be the headwind. Like I said, there's a strong headwind. That's what's screwing up our efficiency. But now we're in Navigator on autopilot. We're having a lot of ping-ponging in the lanes. I don't know. I mean, you can't see the steering wheel. We're definitely ping-ponging in the lanes, and it may be because of the wind, or it's just this update still hasn't really solved the ping-ponging since I think version 10, beginning of version 10 or 10.1 or whatever it was. I forget. So that may be a problem. Maybe, like I said, maybe the wind. It's a little annoying, but you know, we're still in Navigator on autopilot, so that's good. Also, we made a wrong turn when we were in New York. I forgot to get off on an exit, like I mentioned there. Not that I forgot. Well, I should have been paying better attention, and I was, but it's all new to me, so the area is not familiar. Maybe I should have been paying better attention, but I didn't, and I missed an exit, and that cost us a little extra at the time. But what I noticed is we were in Navigator on autopilot, and then as soon as that exit was coming up, it kicked me out of Navigator on autopilot for some weird reason, and that's why I missed it. Like I said, other reasons too. But now we're in Pennsylvania, and we're getting back on the highway after the supercharger, and we were on the highway, we're changing interstates. I guess we're getting off on one off-ramp to get onto another off-ramp, and it should have done it all by itself on Navigator on autopilot, but as soon as we got just meters or feet from the exit, it came off Navigator on autopilot, just went into regular autopilot. So luckily I was paying attention this time, and I caught it and got off on the off-ramp and didn't miss it this time. But I don't know what it is. Maybe something in the settings I gotta take a look at. Okay, we're here at Cranberry, Pennsylvania at the supercharger right behind this some kind of hotel. It's Model X here and another Model 3. We'll just find a nice little spot and plug in. Okay, so this leg of the trip, I switched back to kilometers because miles was just messing me up, and it shows on there the kilometer equivalent to miles anyways. So we did basically 170 kilometers. We used 36 kilowatt hours, and that's our efficiency. Much better than before. But look, we've warmed up. We're only at -1 now. So we use 214 watt hours per kilometer, and we're at 18%. So we're gonna plug in. This one's gonna be a long stop. We're gonna have lunch and everything. So we'll probably charge up to 100%, and then we'll go. So we charged up to 93%, probably more than we needed to, because we're going to get to West Virginia with 36%. We probably only should have went to 73, but we were having lunch, so that's fine. It's going to take us 2 hours to get there. We used, let me see, does it say? No, it doesn't say. I had it before. We had 55 kilowatts of charge, and now we're off. It's going to get there in about 2 hours, I think it said. Yeah, right here, 2 hours and 9 minutes. Let's go.
The world is too small. We must reject any forms of fundamentalism or racism. Instead, we need to embrace the tolerance that results from respect of all human beings.
Coming into West Virginia, crossing over. Okay, we're here in where are we? Weston, West Virginia. Yep, it's at a Sheetz location here. We've never been to a Sheetz, so here it's really good. It's 321, and pretty good consumption. 196, 45 kilowatt hours consumed, and 231.8 kilometers. Let's charge up this one. I think we only need to charge up for like 15 minutes before we move on. So this is an awesome trip so far. 5 more minutes, 15 minutes in total. And there goes a loud ice truck going by. A lot of trucks here in this state, West Virginia. 5 more minutes, and then we're back on the road. We go to Mount Hope, and that's our last stop before we get to our hotel for the night. Okay, we're back on the road. We have 62%. That'll get us to the next one, which is Mount Hope, with 17% to spare. And maybe I can shave some of that off so I can get a faster charge when we get there. An hour and 46 minutes it should take. Let's go. So we're getting back on the highway here. That stop was a quick stop at Sheetz. Literally, it took us 18 minutes to charge from, what was it, 27% to 62%. So 35% charge. Anyways, yeah, Julie heard a lot about Sheetz, and she was meaning to tell me that we should try it, and we will try it. There's a few superchargers that are located by Sheetz, so she's excited to try it, and sometime in this video you will see us at Sheetz eating. Okay, we're here. Took us an hour and 46 minutes. 199 is our consumption. At 180 kilometers it took us to get here. Now we're at Mount Hope. We're going to charge up for about 20 minutes, it says here, and then we should have enough to move on. So let's check it out. It is 5:26 when we got here. Okay, we're here at another Sheetz, like I said, in Mount Hope, and it's 20 minutes. Now these parking spots, as you see, they're the superchargers. They've got 10-minute general parking, so that's fair. So that guy's there for 10 minutes, or so he says. But look, there's all those parking spots right here. When we got here, there wasn't even half these cars. So for someone to just park there is just simple douchebaggery. Okay, we're just leaving Mount Hope, another Sheetz location. And we're getting back on the Highway 19, I think it is. Yeah, oh no, sorry. This is 77. So we're 2 more hours before we get to our... it says 216. Okay, it says 216 until we get to where we're staying for the night, the halfway point in North Carolina at Mount Airy, and then we'll continue tomorrow, bright and early again. And I think tomorrow's trip is a little shorter. So we've got another just under 2 hours left to go, and you know what? I forgot to mention that this whole trip, I'd say 95% of the trip has been in autopilot, which is quite simply amazing and makes the whole entire trip so much more relaxing. I mean, when I get out to charge and have lunch and stuff like that, I'm not tired. I need to stretch my legs, but I'm not exhausted. I'm not tired. We've been in the car for 12 hours now, and by the time it's all finished, it'll be 14 hours. And you know what? Most times having a 14-hour regular ICE car road trip, you'd be exhausted after driving that much. This one, not bad at all. And the ping pong went away. as soon as the wind died down, we got into West Virginia and it wasn't windy anymore. I noticed the ping ponging was gone. Autopilot was perfect. Autopilot isn't doing that great. They're doing construction. They got barrels on the right hand side and they've realigned the lane and they've taken away the original lane and just tried to cover it over a little bit, but you can still see them. Autopilot's sort of detecting it and trying to stay in there sometimes, and it's hunting back and forth from left to right. But then when it goes to the right, when it picks up that old lane marking, then it gets too close to the barrel, so I had to come out of autopilot and just take it over manually, at least till we get out of the construction zone, and then we'll put it back on. See, I don't know what it would have done here with all this stuff. I don't know what I would have done.
Oh, it's the rumble strips on the side.
So now it's finished.
In case you're sleepy going off the road, it'll wake you up.
So as you can see, it's 5:42 in the morning the next day. I didn't film the Airy supercharger, but it's a nice supercharger. It's got a sheets there too. We filled up to about 93%, and overnight we lost a couple percent. And we're starting today, this morning, the second leg of our trip with 90%. We're going from Mount Airy. We're going to go to Columbia. No, Columbia? No, Charlotte. We're going to go to the north end of Charlotte, that supercharger. It's about an hour and a half from here. By then we'll be hungry, we'll have breakfast and everything. It'll maybe be a more decent time of morning. And we'll go from there. We'll do 4 or 5 stops. Okay, we are here at the, I think Charlotte Superchargers.
North Carolina.
Yeah, in North Carolina. There's 2 in Charlotte. This one's in North Charlotte, I guess you could say. I don't know how. The Mallard one. So charge up here for like 10 minutes or so, and then we'll see where it tells us to go. I'm not sure. Okay, it's just finished. Just a quick splash and dash at Charlotte, and we're moving on. We only charged for like 8 minutes there, and we got like 9 kilowatts, but we have enough now to make it to Columbia. Yeah, Columbia is where we're going now. The sun is up. And it's not dark anymore, and it's 7:42. So let's go to Columbia.
44.
Okay, we're here in Columbia. This is a nice Hilton Garden Hotel. It's right in the back of it. Anyways, it is now 9:08. We did 157 kilometers exactly. We used 28 kilowatt hours, and our consumption was 181. That's pretty good. The temperature's getting warmer, so that's why it's getting better. So we're here. We're going to plug in for about, it says, 30 minutes, and then we're on our way. So we're in Columbia, South Carolina. Beautiful. It's like 8 degrees. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. We're just waiting. Got another 15 minutes to charge up. I know this isn't test related and it probably shouldn't even be spoken about, but the funny thing is, we've been like grading or rating washrooms. What do you do as we go by, as we stop for these charging stops or for lunches and dinners and stuff like that? And this place here, let me turn on. The Hilton Garden Inn here in Columbia, the nicest washroom ever. Sweet, sweet washroom. So if you come here for a charge and a quick stop and everything, what do you do? Check out the washrooms here. Even if you don't, check it out. Okay, here's a tip. Even though the car says it's ready to go, like 5 minutes ago, as good as the calculation is here that Tesla puts in to get to the next stop, it says we are going to get to Savannah here with 13%, and it only needed, I think, up to 80. So at 11%, it was fine to go. But my tip to you is I would always give it an extra 3 or 4%, just for stuff, incidental things that you can't, control. Like it's going to be raining later, so the rain's going to take a little more range off you and stuff like that, and raise your consumption a little bit. So keep that in mind. I found it's accurate, but even if you don't speed, I'm not saying I was speeding, but I found that even though when I left the superchargers in the last day and a half, every time I got on the highway after about 10-15 minutes, if it said 13%, that would go down to 10. So you would lose 2 or 3 or 4% just as it recalibrates, I guess, or gets things right. So always give yourself a little bit of buffer room. So here's a perfect example. We just got on the highway. We've been driving for a minute or two, and we've already lost 2%. I left here 14%, and we've lost 2%. And I'm only doing 110 in a 90 zone. So maybe I can slow down a little bit, but it's not that bad. Okay, we are in Savannah, Georgia.
Aww.
At the supercharger here. We're gonna plug in. Stay here for about a half an hour. We got here a little later than normal because we stopped to eat, and then there was an accident or something on the highway, so it turned us around. So this is one of these funny pulling ones. Okay, let me just show you the distance we traveled here between Columbia and Savannah. We went 280 kilometers, 47 kilowatt hours we used, and our consumption's getting better because it's getting warmer. As you can see, it's 15 degrees outside. We only used 169 watt hours per kilometer. So that is pretty good. You can't expect any better than that. We came here at 14%, and we've been charging up for a little bit. And I think we've probably topped out. Yeah, this charger, this Savannah airport charger, is only a 125 kilowatt charger, so it's not 150. It's like most of them. So this one's going to be here. We're going to be here for a bit. It says 25 minutes, but so yeah, the most we're getting is 118. So here's Savannah. These are nice people from, where are they from? Pennsylvania, I think it was. Yeah, Pennsylvania, and they're charging here at Savannah with. They were just in front of us. What's funny to see is they're from Pennsylvania, so obviously they don't get the winter package mud guards from Tesla, but they've got their own. I guess they get some bad weather in Pennsylvania too. Why not, right? Why not spend the $30 Canadian and get the mud flaps? Get all 4 too. You don't get 2, and you don't look dumb. Thank you. You too.
Stop it.
Okay, so that's Savannah, Georgia. You have to, when you come through here, you have to give your name and phone number. Now,
Turn right on St. Patrick's
I don't know if they know that it's your real phone number or what, but anyways, we're leaving with 77%. That took 29 minutes, and our next stop is Jacksonville, which is what?
The plate is
Nova Scotia, in front of us. Oh, kids are in the back getting a little nutty, as you can tell.
Turn left onto Airway.
So this one's going to be 2 hours and 8 minutes, just over 2 hours, 233 kilometers. But we don't need to stop till Jacksonville. So it takes, what originally was going to be 5 stops into 4 stops. This is the longer charging time method, but shorter stops, but less stops, as opposed to shorter charging times, but more stops. They both work out. I think the more stops works out sooner. So we're in Florida now, as you just saw. Here's the funny thing. I am doing 130 almost, 128. And I'm doing like the flow of traffic. And many people, like that guy there, they're passing me. Like will fly in Florida. Okay, we're here 237.7 kilometers later, 41 kilowatt hours used, and an efficiency of 171. It is a 326. Let's plug in, say 25 minutes. So let's plug in and
Guys, it's so hot.
see what we get. We have to share. This is one of the busier ones I've seen in our trip. So we have to share with this guy because this guy's plugged in there and these guys are sharing over there. So I hate sharing, but I have no choice. So we've made it. We've actually made it to Florida, folks. It's 22 degrees. It's so warm. That's why we have our t-shirts on now. Anyways, we're going to charge it for another 5 minutes. We've been charging for about 20 already. And then we have enough to get all the way to Orlando. Right now we're in Jacksonville. So enough to get to Orlando and then we begin our trip. So this is the last stop. Well, the last charging stop. Okay, that was a quick charge. 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes. And we have enough with a little bit of buffer to get all the way to Orlando. And it looks like we're going to get there just after 6, like 6:02, 6:03. And in 2 hours and 12 minutes. So that was it. That was our last charging stop. We're on the road now and we're all in t-shirts because we shedded the hoodies and the sweaters because it's 23 degrees.
Shark, it's a shark.
We are here 6:16.
Not bad. Not
So 12 and a half hours. Sure beats what was it, 14 exactly? So 12 and a half hours. We're here at Spring Hill Suites.
That's not bad.
And we've got 12% left. I can go right. Yep. Everyone's got a stop sign. Everyone's got to stop.
It's really hot.
Now your destination is on the left.
So here we are. We are at home. 4,630 kilometers driven there and back and driving around all the parks and stuff like that. 826 kilowatt hours of energy used and an awesome efficiency of 178 watt hours per kilometer. Look at, that's my total kilometers now. I've got 61,000 kilometers. And it's the car is 20 months old. The car performed flawlessly. Couldn't ask for a better drive, a better ride. Weather was awesome. I didn't, obviously, as you saw, I didn't do the trip back. That was just a trip going there. The trip back was generally the same. We took a little bit of a different route just to stay at a different hotel, which included charging. So this whole entire trip of 4,600 kilometers, didn't pay 1 cent for supercharging, thanks to all my subscribers and people that use my referral code. So the whole trip travel was completely free. All we paid for obviously was Disney stuff, the hotels, and meals. What an awesome trip. I would do it again. I advise anyone to do it any chance they get. This was something that we'll remember forever. And then you know what? And I don't know if we'll be going on a trip this long ever again. I would love to, but I just don't know what the future holds. But we'll see. Or we just want to see if we can actually do it in a Tesla with autopilot on and everything. And if you're even on the fence about it, folks, don't worry. It is an awesome trip and it's highly advisable. Anyone can do it. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.